Bonjour, everyone. Hi. Welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable right here on Facebook at Star Nations Organization's main fan page. Today is Tuesday, June what, 4th? June 4th. I had to look at the calendar. Oh my gosh, every day kind of speeds by so fast, doesn't it? I just felt like I was going to say June 2nd, and I knew that wasn't right. So welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable. I'm your host, Neshi Lokotz, and I'm hoping that we're going to have a really great spiritual conversation because of the cards that came this morning. I'm thinking that this is going to be a good one. Okay, so there's a couple of things I wanted to share with you before we get started, and one of them is to share and like the show. And to get that done, it doesn't take long. And I invite you to do that because I'm doing the same thing. And I just got to get our page up here. And then scroll and find the broadcast, the live stream. Here we are. I'm going to like it and I'm going to share it. And I'm sharing it over to my news feed so that I can remind my friends that I am live streaming. And asking them to please join. The live chat. There we go. And I'm going to post that. There. Yeah, every time we find a video, a post, a meme, anything that helps us on our spiritual journey, on our soul growth, when we find information that is like, oh yeah, that's really, really good. As light workers, as energy workers, I kind of see it as a civic duty, right? That for your friends, for our community to be able to share those things so that it's easier to find. And so the same thing holds true for any of the live stream shows that we host here for Star Nations. And so I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time and doing the sharing and the liking, because we all know Facebook loves sharing and liking, right? All right, I'm going to turn down my sound on my phone. There we go. Let's see who's in the chat. Every time I do this, it reminds me of a very old show that some of you might remember. It's called Romper Room. It was a show that was when I was a kid, like kindergarten age, first grade. Yeah, a long time ago. Romper Room, and the host would have this mirror that she would hold. It was a hand mirror, and she goes, and I see Tommy, and I see Julie. She never saw Yvette. Never had that name out there. But every time I check the chat, that's what that reminds me of. And so we see Julie. Julie's here. Hello, Julie. Good to have you here. It's always good to see you in the chat. There's here in Tomah, Wisconsin, where I live. I'm broadcasting from Star Nations Academy, which is just west of my house, a little bit, probably about a block, a good country block. And we live just on the outside of the city limits of Tomah, Wisconsin. And so we're not quite out in the country, and we're not in the city. Although Tomah is a very small city. It really is. I think it's 7,000 people, something like that. So it's a small town. And so we live right on the edge, right? And we have this small hill right behind our house. And I have to say that it's good feng shui. That was one of the reasons why I chose the house. Wasn't the main reason, but it was one of the many reasons. And it helped this morning. We had some strong winds come through, a storm come through, and the storm literally went up and over the house. It's not the first time that's ever happened, but it's something that I'm very grateful for. I'm very grateful for Grandmother Earth to be able to protect my home. And I wanted to share that because the wind was quite strong. It wasn't tornado, it wasn't wind shears or anything like that, but it was pretty darn windy. And so some of the information that's been shared through the cards has been about wind, right? The winds of change. And so I wanted to share that with you. Yeah. Oh, looks like Stephanie is in the house. She is doing posts for the magazine and for the shows. Thank you, Stephanie. Rob is here too. He says they were saying random names. They were saying random names. Oh, yeah, they probably were. They probably were. It's just, as a kid, I just noticed that, hey, she never said Yvette. That's what I meant. And hi, Jackie. Finally able to catch it. Yay. I'm so glad you're here, Jackie. It's always good to see you in the chats. Yeah. All right. Now, for the cards today, what I'd like you to do is, if you haven't had the chance today, haven't made the time to do it, to do your grounding, okay? To do your grounding. There's information that's in these cards in the message today that I think that would be very beneficial for us to be grounded, to really take in as much of the information as we possibly can in as many possible ways as possible, right? Yeah. Oh my goodness. FedEx truck just went by. I hope he stops at my house. I ordered a new NutriBullet for the house, for Paul and I. We use it every day, and I had to order a new one because the old one was making kind of not good noises when I turned it on. So I think the motor was burning out. And so it's supposed to come by FedEx. So I'm hoping. I got sidetracked. All right, talk about grounding, right? But if you haven't had a chance or haven't made the time to do your grounding, if you could just take a moment and do your grounding, so that the information that's being shared today, you can really take it in as many ways as possible in all of your bodies, okay? And so that in your conscious mind, you'll recognize certain idiosyncrasies, all those synchronicities and signs and symbols as they come through your life after seeing this information. Okay? All right. Just going to give you a moment to do that. I'll take a drink of water. Yum. Good water. All right. And put my name down. And we're going to get to the first card. And the first card, now I have to say that we've had these cards before. All right. But it's in the order in which we received them that is interesting. Got to get to the first card. Hang on. There we go. All right. So here's the first card. Ugh. George. Got George here everywhere. Okay, here it is. It's Kasa, goddess of water. Goddess of water. And it's about uncovering. Goddess of water. Don't you just love that picture? How she's looking down at the person in the canoe. Goddess of water, Kasa. Now, we've had Kasa before, and not too long ago. And the thing is that what I know for sure about card draws is that when certain cards come to you in repetition, more than once, several times, that the information or the message that's coming through is very important, and two, gives you an opportunity to take the information at an even deeper level. Okay, and so Kasa has been with us on several occasions in the month of May. And now here we're starting June, and she's shown up at least twice. Kasa, goddess of water, and it's about uncovering. And the channeled message is really interesting. And I know that I've read it to you before, but I'm going to do it again because each time we get the information, we understand it even more, right? So here we go. Here's the channeled message. All right. Kasa says, in my mother before me was created the beauty of love. As her child, I am always in turmoil until I present myself to her in her beauty. Her love soothes me. I sleep sometimes in the depth of my home, far from all others but my mother, and dream the visions of Skan. I awaken restless and troubled until I turn to her again, and all becomes beauty. I hide myself near the breast of Maka, which is earth, and listen to her heartbeat, which unites us all. I give you the power of transforming emotions. Bring your troubles to Yum, to love, through me, for I have her ear and I know your turmoil. Yum, the beloved of Skan, cannot deny you the needed perspective. Okay? So this time around, when I read the channeled message, what jumped out at me was, I give you the power of transforming emotions. I give you the power of transforming emotions. And we're to bring our troubles to love, to the supernatural spirit called Yum, Y-U-M. And Yum is represents love, right? And Kasa is very close to Yum, very close to her. And here's why. It says Skan, motion, and Anhui, the moon, created for themselves the spirit called Yum. Yum is the whirlwind. Yum split herself from the supernatural Kasa, goddess of water. Kasa means cut from oneself, to transplant. This split allows Yum to be wholly positive. So Kasa, the negative side of the goddess Yum, is the goddess of water and the seas. She acts with Ibam, the negative male energy, creating storms and destruction. They are the ultimate balancers. Okay, so Kasa is comes from Yum, the goddess Yum, the goddess of love. So the goddess of love split part of her off to take out the negative from herself, and created Kasa. And so Kasa, the goddess of water, of all water, in her channeled message, she says that she's in turmoil, right? And so she always feels so much better when she comes close to Grandmother Earth, to Maka, right? And that when she's with Maka, she's filled with beauty, and it soothes her. So coming close to Grandmother Earth, and she goes to the depths. Kasa goes to the depths, the deepest waters, and she's soothed there, right? And so we know that water, right? Water represents emotion. And so that's why she's telling us that if you have turmoil in your life, your emotions are in turmoil, is to bring them through her to Yum, so they can be transmuted to love. Does that make sense? Right? So that whenever we feel unsettled, whenever our emotions feel, we know what that turmoil, that churning, that the ones that bring us to so many tears, right? Some people would even call it heartbroken. Yeah. That when we're feeling those emotions about anything that's going on in our life, it doesn't have to be romantic love. It could be anything that our emotions are churning about, right? Is that we can call on Kasa to take them from us, to take them to her split apart, which is Yum, love. And when this phrase kind of jumped out at me, the one that said, I give you the power of transforming emotions, right? And it reminded me of how I was taught how to give tobacco, right? That whenever there's a situation, this is what my mom told me. Anytime you have a situation where your feelings and your emotions are just all over the place and you can't seem to balance them, that you can't seem to calm down, right? Is to give tobacco and ask for help, and put the tobacco in the water, because the water is about our emotions, about our tears. Yeah. And so, and it, and in my world, it works so well. It really does. It helps me to calm down. It helps me to see things from a more balanced perspective, sometimes a wider perspective. And it's not, I'm not overwhelmed with the emotion, right? So it helps me to come to a balanced place. Yeah. So Kasa comes back to us today with a message about our emotions. That if you have any kind of emotions that are overwhelming you, that seem like they're so heavy or they're so deep, right? Maybe some of you are grieving over a loss of any kind, really, right? And it's weighing you down. It tends to cloud and to obscure, to be able to see a situation with more clarity, right? Yeah. Hey, Rochelle's here. Hello, Rochelle. She just got back from physical therapy. Good for you. Yay. Got to keep doing that physical therapy. I know it's going to hurt, but it's really important. Thank you, Rochelle. She shared the show. Appreciate it. And gotta keep scrolling here. And wow. Okay. So Kasa comes to us again, the goddess of water, asking us, telling us that she gives us the power to transform our emotions, to bring our troubles to Yum, to the goddess love, through Kasa, through her split apart. So that we can have, so that our troubles, our emotions, can be transformed into love, right? And think about that, is that Yum, when she created Kasa, when she did that split apart, she took all the things that are negative, and Kasa is the one who is carrying all of that. So Yum is pure love. It's all positive, right? And so when Kasa takes our troubles, our emotions, to Yum, to transform them into love, right? And Kasa can do that for us. She was created for that purpose. So with the card, the meaning of the card is that as we flow through life, we must deal with many issues. Now, ain't that the truth? Although there are times we feel as if we are deep in turbulent waters, our most significant concerns only truly rise to the surface when we're ready to face them. So, as Kasa is the goddess of water, she is very familiar with the depths, the deepest depths of all the oceans and all the seas. And so she's also familiar with the depths of our emotions. And so when something floats to the surface, when it becomes uncovered, because that's the energy of Kasa, is uncover. When we have a situation, a concern that floats to the surface becomes uncovered, it's our opportunity to be able to take a look at the situation, this emotion that has come up from the depths, because it's time. It's in divine timing that it comes to the surface, because we're in a position to be able to deal with it, to handle it. Right? Now here is the crux of it. Is that it's two-legged. When we have certain very strong emotions that come up, they're usually attached to a memory, right? An event that occurred in our lives. And it's floating to the surface. It's being uncovered for us to remember and to deal with. In other words, heal from it, release it, right? Many of us, what we do is we end up is pushing it back down, suppressing it, pushing it back down into the depths. Because we do have free will, and we choose not to look at it. We choose not to deal with it. Maybe it's because it's painful, number one. And it brings back all these old memories that you'd rather not have to go through again. But if we don't allow it to come to the surface, and we don't allow ourselves to really look at it, to face it, right, that we won't have the opportunity to heal it, to release it, to grow from it. And in so many ways, it stops our growth. Now, it doesn't really stop the energy, because energy is always flowing, right? But it can slow it down. It can slow it down. And then where are we at when that happens? We're wondering why we can't get out of this funk. We wondering why do we have to keep going through certain things? Yeah. And then, we do, two-legged, we tend to blame everything else but what we just did the last time it came to the surface, and we pushed it down, back down into the depths. So Kasa is asking us this time around with her visit to us is to really allow ourselves to take a look at what's coming to the surface. Because we have all kinds of help. Kasa is willing to help us. She's willing to take that emotion that is in turmoil and take it to her split apart yum to transform it into love. We just have to have enough courage to really take a look at it. That emotion, right? That memory. And it could be from an event that happened decades ago, right? It could be from an event that happened last week. Yeah. We're just being offered the opportunity. The next time it floats to the surface, because it will, is to take that opportunity so that we can move forward in our growth. We can experience it, gain the wisdom from it, right? And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, especially if this is something that you've pushed down time and time again, that eventually that when you do take that opportunity, make that choice, that you may have to remember some of the pain that went along with that, right? To really process it this time. Yeah. But see, what Ska is telling us is that she can help us. She's given us the power to transform our emotions. We just have to call on her. Stephanie said, I wish you all could hear the wind. Tate and Coco Pelli are doing a duet. Really? Well, I tell you what, that wind that came through here this morning, that was pretty strong, and it wasn't a tornado or anything like that, but it was a strong wind. Rochelle says, I was extremely emotional this morning. I went quite deep and discovered why I was so angry. I feel better now. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you for sharing that, really. And yeah, doing the work. Sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy to do, but we have all kinds of help. We're not meant to do it by ourselves. We're not meant to do it by ourselves. We have a whole lot of help through spirit. We have a whole lot of help through our friends, right? Yeah. So good for you, Rochelle. Thank you for sharing that. Rob is saying, I'm currently reading an essay saying damn near the same thing. Really? It's no coincidence, right, Rob? No coincidence at all. And I do believe that there's a reason for this kind of message coming through today, because when you take a look at how the energy has been flowing the last day or two, maybe even 3, kind of wonky. It feels it's different. And it feels different for a lot of people. And I don't know if you saw the post that I shared. I think it was 2 days ago. It's of the Northern Lights over Norway, and how it's kind of shooting up, coming up off the earth and up into the air, right? And it's this neon green kind of. It's almost like an explosion. But to me, when I saw that, it was just a picture that really is talking about how energy, our emotional energy, is reacting to this, right? It's quite beautiful, and yet it's very dramatic. It's very dramatic. Yeah. All right. I got to scroll just a little bit here. And here we go. Rochelle is saying, have my turtle here too. Good. Because, we know that the turtle represents Grandmother Earth, right? And the energy of a turtle is, it's slow, but it's thorough, right? And you really do need to slow down right now. You really do, in order to have the energy to heal your physical body, heal from the surgery, right? And in all your bodies. And so turtle medicine can certainly help you do that. Yeah, because you need to slow down. Yep. But once you do, you're going to be the bionic woman. Once you're past all the therapy and you're good to go, it's next year this time, there won't be any stopping you. You'll be on those road trips in comfort. Okay, so we're being asked to not to push those memories, those emotions down it back into the depths, but allowing them to come to the surface and to address them. Okay, so that is Kasa. And the next card that came, all right, the next card that came is Ska. Ska. Now remember, this is the Lakota language. This is life from the perspective of the Lakota. So Ska is emotion, and it's about manifestation, motion. And here's the channeled message from Ska. Ska says, I am the eternal now of creation, that which existed before the creation of time. I am that through which time moves. Through me, you are given gifts of experience, reflection, and hope, that these may lead you to know yourself as creator and created, to know yourself within the fabric of all that is, to know yourself ultimately to be no greater than a speck of dust and no less than the God that you seek. Very powerful being here, Ska. He says that I am that through which time moves. Through me, you are given the gifts of experience, reflection, and hope, that these may lead you to know yourself. So here, and the authors give us the traditional meaning of what these supernatural beings are, okay? And the description from the tradition is that Ska, the second spirit set forth from Wankantanka, became the motion of all things. Ska set the stars and planets moving on their paths and released the winds to travel across the universe. Ska enters the body with the spirit and sets in motion the breath and blood of new life. All that is created is in motion. The seas, the clouds, the trees, and all that live within and upon the earth move in a dance to the radiance of the one who created all things, Wankantanka. Okay, so Ska is motion. And according to the Lakota, Ska is the one who put the planets on their path, right? That's pretty big. Ska was the second creation that Wankantanka made. And it's because of him, Ska, that he gives us the gift of experience. So when we talk about moving forward, that motion, we're talking about Ska. So we have Ska within us. He gave us the breath. He gave us the when our soul came into our physical body, we came in through Ska. We rode on Ska when we came in. Motion, movement. That's pretty big. Okay, now here is our understanding of the tradition, okay? I'm going to go back to Ska, not Ska, but Kasa, goddess of water, and to remind you that Skan, motion, and Anwi, which is the moon, created themselves the spirit called Yum. Ska and the moon, Anwi, created Yum. Remember Yum? Yum is the goddess of love. And what she did was she split herself. She took all of her negative out and created her split apart called Ska. I'm sorry, Kasa. Kasa. Right? I don't know if you followed that. This is kind of like a family tree, isn't it? Genealogy. Is that Ska created Yum with the moon. Their child is Yum, love. Their child Yum split herself to take out the negative so she would be pure love. And when she did that, she created Kasa. So with Kasa's the first card that we got about uncovering and allowing those emotions from the depths of our soul to come up so that we can actually address them, heal them, feel them, so that we can gain the wisdom from it, right? Gain the experience from it. And what's all behind it, the driving of it, is ska, motion. This is a big energy, huge energy behind the goddess of water. So whatever it is that we have that's floating to the surface for us to address, whatever that is for you, it might seem like it's either subtle or maybe small, or it could be very big. No matter what the size of it is something that is going to bring you a really huge, huge soul growth. The wisdom that you gain from it is going to be very big, because ska motion is behind it. Right? So allow this one to come to the surface. Look at it. Make the decision to really deal with it this time, rather than pushing it back down into the depths. Because when we do that kind of healing, man, do we free up the space and the energy to bring in what we're supposed to be doing here, our soul contract, right? And ska, it's about emotion, but it's the essence of manifestation. The essence of manifestation. So whatever that is for you, that's coming to the surface, is to really take a look at it, because once you do the healing of it and the releasing of it, the soul growth that you're going to get from it is big. And you're also freeing up a great deal of an energetic space and your energy to turn it toward manifesting what it is that you're creating, right? Yeah. And so when whatever it is that's being uncovered, that's floating to the surface, if your emotions are overwhelming you, if they're feeling like they're that you're really kind of spinning on it, is call on Kasa, the goddess of water, and ask her to help you to smooth those emotions. Ask her to take them to her split apart yum, to transform it into love. Yeah. Transform those emotions that are churning. Transform them into love. No matter what those emotions are, even if it's hate or anger, despair, grief, we have a whole lot of help standing behind this, waiting for us. Yeah, it does. Rochelle says it looks like the symbol of infinity. It does, doesn't it? Well, when you take a look at it, it's really the sun and the moon, right? Yeah. Great observation there, Rochelle. Lauren says, good morning. I am humbly grateful for a card today. Thank you. Yeah, Lauren, you know what? We're not doing individual card draws on this particular show. There's other shows here at Star Nations that do that. You can tune in tomorrow night, Wednesday night, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is Soul Connections. That's with Polly Joe, and she does individual card draws. Okay. Really good stuff. If you haven't ever experienced her show, that would be my suggestion. The cards that I draw in the morning is really about the energy that's unfolding for today, and how it can help us in our soul growth as a collective, as a group, right? So anything that resonates with you in what's shared today, you know, that's meant for you, right? And so you can draw on that. There we go. And Rob is saying, with the archangels, Michael represents water. Well, see, there you go, right? Because sometimes we do have to draw on courage, right? Courage to face those things that, those emotions that we've repressed, suppressed, because those are all around memories of an event or situation in our life that's coming to the surface. That's what Kasa is bringing for us today, right? That was the first card. It's about uncovering, having those emotions come to the surface to be addressed. Yeah. So that's what I meant about being grounded today, because this is really big energy coming through today. Skan, which is the motion, it's about manifesting, yes, but it's got a huge energy behind it, with it, I should say, that Kasa, the goddess of water, is riding on today with these two together, right? Yeah. Now, the third card that came is one that keeps showing up time and time again. And it's actually feeling like a long lost friend, right? And that's Tate. Tate has been here at least twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. And it's wind, the winds of change, right? Wind. And Tate, wind, is all about change. It's all about change. And the tradition of Tate is Skan. Ska, the spirit of motion, created Tate. Tate, the wind, began to blow across the earth, carrying the seed of the life force, blowing it into the waiting human, the waiting plant. The force of Tate is carried within the seed and passed down through the generations. So Tate, the wind, is male in essence, right? Sacred masculine. And his father is Ska. Ska created Tate. And I was thinking, is that movement we can truly see when it's with the wind, right? When we see things being blown around. We can see it in the clouds. Very interesting. And this card is about is maybe taking something and stirring things up and making a major change in your life. Making a change, right? All right. So I believe, this is my feeling, right? Because this is a third card and it's supporting that first card, is that Spirit's telling us is that when we face those emotions that are coming to the surface, remembering the event so that we can heal it and release it, is that when we do all of that, we're creating this change. We're making that choice to heal that, to release whatever that is, so that we can make a change. It's going to change our life. Okay. So here we go. All three of them together. See if we can do this. All right. So we have Kasa, the goddess of water. It's about uncovering, allowing that comes up through the surface from the depths of emotions, is to actually do the healing. Not to push it back down into the depths, but actually to take a look at it, to have the courage to make that choice, to heal it, to release it. And if our emotions are overwhelming us, is to ask for assistance, to ask Kasa to come in and to take those churning emotions for you and take them to the goddess of love, Yum, to transform them into love. Ska is about motion and manifestation. And he is a very big energy, very big medicine here. That Kasa is the vehicle, is riding on this large energy coming through. Because there's change, right? Tate is saying there's change. We do this healing, we're going to get change. It's going to change your life. And it could be a very big change, very big manifestation for our life. What we have to do is allow those emotions that are coming to the surface, allow them to come to the surface and to address them. And we have all kinds of help to do that. We're not meant to do it by ourselves. No, we have all kinds of help. We have our spiritual team, asking them for help. We can call on the goddess of water, Kasa, to help us with our emotions, to transform them into love, right? Yeah. And you know what? We get to free up a whole lot of energetic space in our lives when we heal this, so that we have this energy. It's going to free up some of our energy too to do that manifesting. It's a big one. It really is. Lauren says, gave me goosies. Going through huge triggers and transformation resonates here. Well, I'm glad. I'm so glad, Lauren. You know, and that's just the thing, isn't it? Is that is to embrace whatever parts of the messages that comes through, whether it's a word or a phrase or the whole thing, is that to embrace what resonates with you. And then what you do is we watch, we're aware of how the energy today is unfolding around us and where this information can be helpful. Yeah. And if it doesn't resonate, that's okay too, because sometimes we're the messenger. We're the messenger. Maybe we know somebody who enjoys this kind of conversation or is looking for this kind of information, and you can just share the recorded video with them, and that's your role, right? Still a big part of it. But really it is about that resonating. So thanks for sharing that, Lauren. Okay, and Rob is saying the combination of wind and water and motion is rain. Isn't that something? Yeah, because it can be a gentle rain, right? It can be a gentle rain, the kind that you like to kind of walk out and around in, you know. Or it could be raining so hard it's coming down in sheets and you can't see very far, right? Yeah. Emotion, symbols of emotion. Yeah. Donna says, love this, spot on. Thank you. You're welcome, Donna. You're welcome. You're very welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah. And so this is the reason why when I first started the show, I asked those that hadn't grounded today, it was to take a moment and to ground so that when you get this, when you bring in this information, that you can bring it in as complete as you possibly can, to have it downloaded in all of your bodies as much as possible for you, so that you can call on the energy when whatever this is floating to the surface for you, right? Spirit's telling us that this can be a very good thing. They don't say it's going to be easy because you may have to remember some events or situations that created the emotion, right? And to heal that. Yeah. So we got Kasa, Ska, and Tate. Good one. Thank you to Spirit for bringing us these cards today. Because in my life, I certainly can see it happening. When I started reading about it, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, okay, so we're going to allow this one to come to the surface so we can take the time to focus on it, address it, heal it, and then let it go. So we can free up some of that room, energetic room, so that we can bring in something that really is really good for us, right? That manifesting, and it frees up some of our energy to do the manifesting. Yeah. Lauren says, I feel gentle tears in a breeze at the ocean releasing. The sun comes out bright through the clouds in the sky. Ah, that's nice. Thank you for sharing that, Lauren. Reminds me of that song. Okay, where's Julie? Julie Hill. You're going to know the who the group is for this. I think it's Urgent, but I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. All life obstacles, they can see it that's in their way, right? It's about clarity. And it's so true that when our emotions sometimes can be so overwhelming that we can't see with very, very clear eyes, clear eye, right? And so sometimes we need help to clear it up, to see with clarity. And that's where our spiritual team can come in. All those in spirit and the unseen that help us, our guides, our guardians, our teachers in spirit, our allies, our power animals, our totems, the whole team, not just one or two, the whole team, our angels, our archangels, the whole team, that when we call on them to help us to see with clarity and to move through this, to learn what it is I'm supposed to learn from this in the best way, in the most complete way with grace. That's what I say. Complete way with grace and ease. Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, we're at the top of the hour. And so if this resonated with you, I'll just repeat myself. And that is to embrace it. Whatever resonated with you, whether it's a word or two or phrase or even the whole thing, and just be aware, watch, sense, feel, see how the energy of today is unfolding around you, where this information could be helpful to you, right? And if it didn't resonate, that's okay. No worries. There's always tomorrow's cards. They might do that. Oh, here we go. See, I knew Julie would know this. Johnny Nash wrote and recorded it in 1972. Yay. Now we're going to have to find the YouTube on it. Yeah. 1972. That would have meant we were in 8th grade, huh, Julie? Wait, 1973, 74. So no, we were in 7th grade. 7th grade. Julie and I went to school together. I can just remember playing the record, the 45. It was one of my brothers. Shh, I wasn't supposed to touch him. Yeah, my second oldest brother. He walked on in spirit. Oh gosh, I'm thinking it was 2001, something like that. Yeah, he was a good guy. Okay, so today, going to tell you a little bit about the shows that are coming up this week, okay? We've got a few shows for you here at Star Nations, live stream shows that I'm hoping that you're going to enjoy. Tonight is my weekly show. That's called Communications from Home, and that's on at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And what we're going to be talking about tonight is a topic that was brought to me by my mom. She's going to be 100 next on Saturday. She was saying that she would like to hear some information about seeing lights, orbs and sparky lights and that sort of thing. And I thought, oh, that'd be a really good topic. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And please come and join the chat and tell and share your stories, because we all have at least one, right? Story about seeing orbs or flashing lights or color in our meditations, those kinds of things, right? 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And tomorrow, Wednesday, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is Soul Connections with Polly Jola Bay. The first half of the show is the healing meditation. And if you are a light worker or an energy worker and you haven't been doing your own personal care, this is a good show to be a part of, because the healing part is we're bringing in our own intention with our own spiritual team to be a part of a collective energy of healing and releasing. And it can get pretty powerful. And so if you haven't experienced that, you might want to come and join us for that. The second half of the show is about the individual card draw. And so if you enjoy that, all you have to do is put in the comment section, yes, please. And I will put your name, I produce your show. I'll put your name down on the list, and she does the card draws and the mini reading. Okay. All right. And Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time is Constance Shearwater show. That is Spiritual Mysteries of Life. And Connie is one of our elders here at Star Nations, and she does channeling work as well. And sometimes she does live channel on her show. And so, if you'd like to be a part of that, you can come and join us on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. So with that, enjoy the rest of your day, your evening on this Tuesday, and maybe we'll see you later tonight. Okay. Bama Mina, everyone. That's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.